I'm Edward Warfield, the publisher of Citybiz, and I'm honored today to interview Michael MacPherson, who is the CEO of Freedom Federal Credit Union. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Can you provide an introduction to Freedom Federal Credit Union, the branches, the number of ATMs, employees, just some idea of the scope of Freedom?
Sure. So we've been around since 1953. We have 6 branches. We have a network of over 80,000 fee-free ATMs, about 90 employees, $422 million in assets, slowly moving towards a half a billion. And we are what they call a community chartered credit union, which means that anyone who lives, works, worships, attends school, or has family in Harford or Baltimore counties can become a member of our organization.
And can you explain the difference between a credit union and a bank?
Sure, it's probably one of my favorite things to do. Um, Credit unions, first of all, it's important to know that they're not for profit. And what that means is that after we pay our expenses, 100% of our profits are reinvested back into the credit union. And we do that through offering our members higher deposit rates on CDs and savings, lower rates on their loans, more personalized service. We use it to do more community support and give back to the general community that we serve. Um, the other important thing to know is that credit unions don't have outside shareholders. Credit unions are owned by our members, and that makes them the number one priority. Everything we do and everything that we say is always in the best interest of our members. Banks, like all businesses, channel their profits to their shareholders. And the difference with credit unions is our members are our shareholders, every single one of them. And so that makes a massive impact on how we do, because when your members are your shareholders, it really changes the way that you run your business. You don't have to ever have to choose to do what's best for one over the other, because they're one and the same. And that's what we also call, when we're talking about credit unions, the cooperative. Credit unions are also cooperatives, meaning that we're all working together to an ultimate goal. One of the things that I think is really unique about credit unions, we have a core philosophy, and it goes by people helping people. So we're supremely focused on the communities that we serve. We're part of the community. We know that local matters. We know that local is where we live and where we work and where we play. It's where our family and friends are. It's where our homes and our businesses are. So we really make that investment into the community because it matters to what we are. I always like to ask people if they had all the financial, if they were dealing with a business that had all the financial products and services that you wanted and needed, that you also owned, that prioritizes you and your community and puts your best interests first and foremost, wouldn't you want to be part of that? And that's what a credit union is all about, being part of something big, not just something bigger.
And so, what are the primary services provided by Freedom?
I always like to tell people that banking is what we do, it's not who we are. So, to that end, every financial products and services that you can think of, for the most part, we offer for both personal and commercial. We You can run the gamut of things from everywhere from your typical loans for cars and homes and boats and motorcycles and personal loans and things all along those lines, to checking and savings accounts and CDs, investment opportunities. Whether it's we do it locally, internally, or we have a partnership of a local business, we offer every product and services that's out there, along with a what I refer to as an omni delivery channel, meaning that you can access us in person, on the web, on the phone, through technology, whatever it happens to be. We offer the resources as well as the access, and that's what really I think people don't think of us a credit union as having all the bells and whistles that maybe some of the humongous financial institutions do, but we do.
So, last August, Freedom opened a new location in Perry Hall. Tell us about that new location, and is there any other news that you want to bring us up to date?
Sure. Well, we had recently expanded in the middle of the pandemic. we had expanded our charter. We had up until 2020, we just served the Harford County community, and we were able to expand our field of membership to include all of the people that live, work, worship, attend school, like I said, in Baltimore County. And so, as we were doing that, we also had the opportunity to open up a new location in an area called the Honeygo Village Center, which is down in the Perry Hall area of Baltimore County, not too far over the line, but serving a whole new area that had needs. And it was a great experience. We were very well embraced by the community. We've made a lot of inroads and a lot of contacts with various community leaders and businesses and things along those lines. So it's relatively new. It's young, but it's going strong, and it's meeting the needs of a community that we believe had been relatively underserved for a period of time, because the financial institution that was there had left several years ago, and so they were left wanting. As far as other recent news, some of the big things that I like to point out, even though we're not in the business of recognition, it's always nice to mention it when we get it. And last year, Freedom was recognized by Forbes.com as one of the best credit unions in Maryland. Hartford Magazine named Freedom the best of winner within the banks and credit unions category that they had. A company called Harford County Living selected Freedom as the favorite local financial institution. And then we were also recognized by a company called Member XP, which is a leader in customer service solutions. And they recognized us as best of the best for outstanding service. And so I think that really kind of points out what our objective is. It's about providing for the community. And it's really nice to get that recognition from time to time, to let other people know that the financial institution they've chosen to do business with is respected within the financial industry.
So you've been an executive at Freedom for 17 years. Can you share some of the milestones of Freedom and your personal career journey?
Sure. Well, I'll start with my journey, more or less. I mean, I started here as just running the lending department, and then over the years picked up new departments, took on additional responsibility until finally landing where I am now. And over that time, we've had plenty of the financial milestones that helped ensure our members and our customers had a financially safe and sound institution. But those are the results of our philosophy and our focus on providing a memorable experience for our members and our employees. So when I think of milestones, I think of the programs that we've established for things like the teachers. We have special programs for teachers. Scholarships we've provided with the local community college. The community and philanthropic support that we give with both money, but with also our volunteer efforts. We actually put boots on the ground, as it were, where people go out and volunteer at various organizations or events. I mean, yes, we grow, and yes, we get great recognition, but I think the most important thing to me is that I believe we make a real difference in people's lives, and so that's my milestone. We've it was a milestone to pass $400 million in assets, but what does that really mean to the average consumer looking for a financial institution, or even to our own membership? What does that mean to them? And I think our milestones go back to that whole give back. That's what credit unions are all about. How do we give back to our members? How do we give back to the community? And what products and services do we offer? And how many more people? So in addition to the recognition, in addition to the expansion of our charter, which was a huge milestone, in addition to having partnerships with MedStar and Upper Chesapeake, Maryland, the hospital, it's called Upper Chesapeake Health System, which is a division of the University of Maryland, partnerships with Hartford Community College, with Community College of Baltimore County. All those partnerships, those are milestones for us because it just lets us do more for more people.
You have some knowledge on the history of credit unions. Can you tell us when the first credit union was founded, and give us a little background, a little context for the history of credit unions?
Sure. The first credit union in the United States was opened in 1909, but funny enough, they actually have their roots go back to 1852 in Europe. And the idea was, it's a very simple thing. A community, a group of people just got together and shared their personal resources to help one another. That's really the basic foundation of a credit union. It's that, hate to sound redundant, but it's that people helping people concept, and that's how it's formed. And now there are more than 5,000 credit unions in the U.S., serving over 126 million Americans, and there's more than 200 million. There are more than 2 million members of credit unions right here in Maryland. So that just kind of shows from, small growth, a basic concept of everybody working together, to a huge influence in the financial industry.
And so, how did Freedom survive the challenges of COVID?
I think we have survived it pretty much the same way everybody else did. You learned to adapt and to think quick on your feet. It was one of those situations where, you always talk about what you know and what you don't know, and here we were in a situation that nobody knew anything about, and it was all new for us. But we, in many ways, were very fortunate in the fact that we had been proactive with our technology, for example. So prior to the pandemic, we had already had the ability to do remote working, remote capabilities. We already had the online access to members to apply for loans, to sign documents through e-signatures and things along those lines. So really, other than having to prevent people from physically coming into a branch, we had to close down the branches, as most people did, but we still had drive-throughs. We allowed people to come through the drive-throughs. We had, like I said, all of the technological resources, the phone systems and things along those lines. So even though the world kind of shut down, we never did. We never stopped serving. We never stopped meeting our members' needs. Yes, we had to do it in a different way, but even our members, all hats off to all of our members who remained very flexible and, understood the situation, adapted, were patient and kind and helpful through the whole thing. And, we couldn't have done it without the relationships that we've built with our business partners and with our members over the years. I mean, it's really one of the things that you really saw from the pandemic was obviously lots of negatives, but the positives, if you will, are the ability for people to come together. And we also, the other benefit is that we didn't stop doing any of our philanthropic efforts. We had promised that we were going to support community events and community needs, and we continued to do that. We where we couldn't volunteer and physically, where we couldn't go in person, we didn't. But were those that had outdoor things with masks, we were able to do that. We supplied some PPE, the personal protective equipment. We had masks ordered and made, and hand sanitizers we distributed to the school systems. We provided over $2 million in PPP loans for our small business members. So everything that we could take advantage of and everything that we could continue to do, we did. And, it was just one of those situations where you realized that just because you have to do things a different way doesn't mean that you have to stop doing what you believe is right in order to serve your members and to serve the community. So it was a lot of movement, a lot of jiving and switching gears and things along those lines. But our staff was steadfast and strong, and our branch staff, even though we didn't have people coming into the branches, our branch staff came in every day. They were working those drive-throughs, they were working those phones, making sure that there wasn't a single member need that wasn't met. And that it was a really it was a tough time. There were frightening times, but it was also a very moving time, a very rewarding time in seeing how this group of employees and members and partners all came together to really just say, hey, you know what? It's business as usual, even though usual is a little different now.
And can you share some of your strategic initiatives going forward? Do you have a growth strategy that you can share with us?
Well, I mean, mostly our initiative is to continue to build on the successes that we've had. I mean, we have financial goals that we want to meet to continue to ensure our our stability and our strength and our give back to our members. Our biggest strategic initiative is to, number one, ensure that we continue to build the relationships and do more and more for the schools and the hospitals that we've partnered with. Um, there's also our initiatives to go further into Baltimore County to do more of them. I mean, we have one branch, but we do want to do more of those. How they will be, how much technology versus the traditional branches will be, are still the things that we're looking towards. How we're going to, what those future branches will look like. But our big strategic initiative is to continue to serve more and more members, to grow those members, and to ensure that they are members that are active within the organization. Because at the end of the day, what a credit union is it's only successful when its members are successful. And the more people that choose freedom and use freedom for their financial needs, the more we can then recycle that business and put it back into the community. That's the cooperative message of credit unions. That's as I call it, the credit union circle of life. So our strategic initiatives, one, derive themselves from hitting certain financial benchmarks to maintain that financial stability, but growing within the county, developing more partnerships, growing within our small business members and meeting more of those needs, and just to continue to spread the credit union advantage, as I call it, and to serve those places that may be underserved or don't have the resources to the financial education, the financial tools that they need to be successful. Again, it's a matter of doing more so that everyone can achieve. We achieve when everyone achieves. I know that's a cliche, but the more you learn about credit unions or the more you learn about freedom, you'll know that we drive on two basic strategic initiatives, or focus, if you will: the member experience and the employee experience. We believe if we treat our employees right, they treat our members right. Our members treat us right by doing business with us, and there's that circle again. So it seems simplistic. It's not all graphs and charts and myriads of data coming at you. We use all those things to make decisions, but really our initiatives is create the experience that our members want and need, and the benefits will come from that.
Well, Michael, I want to thank you for your time and for sharing your personal journey at Freedom and the story of Freedom. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate it. It was my pleasure. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share the good news about freedom.